Good evening, everybody. This is Meenal from Shishuan International School. Warm greetings to everybody. Warm, really, being winter. So, when I think of winter, I think a lot of the cold. I think a lot of going to bed, and I get a nice cuddly feeling. And when I think about that, I think about stories. Yeah. So when you think about stories, you would also like to listen to stories, and I think you would also like to learn how to write a story. So today we have with us Shrusti, who's we're going to roll a story with Shrusti. So Shrusti is going to tell us how to write a story. So before I hand over to Shrusti, a few lines about her. So has uh, Shrusti has been a topper in a school where graduation and at the graduation and post graduation level, she's been a real impressive scholar, I would say. And besides that, she doesn't limit herself to that. She also has a good liking for sports. So she's been an avid basketball player, and she's represented her school at the district and state levels. So besides that, she has a great love for language, and this we can understand because she's taken part in various elocution and debate competitions in her school, and she's won a lot of awards. So can we can think about how interesting she is and how she would take her session. It's wonderful. So before I let Shrusti start, a few things that besides her academic background, Shrusti is also coming from an impressive family. Her family has been attached to the community, and they do a lot of social work. So I think it's really a pleasure to have her with us, and the family is also related closely to Dr. Ela Dedia, who's the CEO of our education. So Shrusti, I'm really very honored to have you on board.
Thank you,
And
ma'am. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be
yeah,
with everyone.
yes, and over to Shrusti so that you can continue now. And
Okay,
we
ma'am.
have Meera. Yeah, Meera. Good evening, Meera.
Good evening, dear.
Okay, so we can begin.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Meera, are you looking forward to this? Meera, are you ready? Yeah, you're wondering what it's going to be like, isn't it? Let's see what Shrusti has to say.
Just a minute. My God. Firstly, a very good evening to Meera, and thank you so much, ma'am, for the lovely introduction. Thank you
Welcome,
so much.
welcome, Shrusti.
So, yes, a very good evening to all the Shishuanites out there, and hope you all are safe and having a great winter at home. And let's just go to the next slide. And quickly, could if somebody tell me what does this remind you of? Whenever you read or whenever you hear, once upon a time. What does this remind you of? Is it a start of a story? Yes, it is. Whenever you start a story, this is something that you always come across, or whenever you want to tell a story to your mom. Once upon a time, this happened. Once upon a time, this happened. So, today, this clearly implies what we are here for, and that is how to roll a story. So, when we were at home during this lockdown, many of us have played many board games. Some have played Monopoly, some have played Business, some have played Snakes and Ladders. So, did you all make use of a die? You roll a die, you get a number, and accordingly, you either climb up the stairs, fall down, or you purchase different houses or flats or properties when you play Monopoly. So, Monopoly says own it all. Similarly, when you write a story, you own it all because you are writing your own story. So, you're the owner of your story. Do you know where the word story comes from? Do you? Well, let me just tell you there is a subject called history in which there were a lot of kings that used to fight with each other, a lot of warriors that used to fight, win palaces, win the forts. So the word story is actually derived from the word history, that is his story. Always remember one thing whenever you write a story, it has to be in the past tense. Is the reason I have mentioned history. That reminds us that is something that has happened in the past. Quickly moving on to the interesting topic that we are all waiting for. Has Mira written a story before? Oh wow, so this is your first time. Are you excited? Yes, you are. And is your pencil and book ready? Lovely. So, Mira, stories are everywhere. Do you come home and tell mom what happened at school? Yes, you do. This happened at school and that happened at school. So, what is it? It's a story, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is. And when you were small, do you remember the story Lion and the Mouse?
Yes.
Then, of course, you would have read Cinderella or heard or read Cinderella.
I didn't read Cinderella.
So now, this time, you're going to read Cinderella for us. You're going to tell mom, Mom, I want to read Cinderella. Yes, you will. It's an amazing story about a beautiful princess like you. Next is Harry Potter. So basically, you always learn different stories, read different stories. Stories are everywhere. Morning time stories, bedtime stories, tea time stories. Stories are everywhere around us. Why stories? It helps to build imagination. Mira likes to think. What does Mira want to become when she grows up? A doctor? A pilot?
I want to become a doctor.
Wow, that's amazing. So you've already started imagining you want to become a doctor. That's super. Secondly, Mira is also very creative. And how can we say that? Because she knows what she wants to become. Do you like to draw and paint? Do you do it with your hands? You use your hands, right?
Sometimes my hands, sometimes.
Okay, wow. So when you make a story, Mira, you have to start drawing and painting in the brain. Because what you draw and paint, you write. Just like how you paint things, you draw and paint a story. And also, it helps you to think more. You always want to be different from the others, right? So you have to start to write a story because it helps you think out of the box. Be different, be unique. So quickly, Mira, is your pencil ready? Is your book ready with you? Yes? So quickly, I want you to choose one character that
I don't have a book. I only have a blank page.
That's fine. That's fine. A blank page is sufficient. So let's put some drawing skills to use as well today. Choose any character that you want in your story. Do you want an animal? Do you want a bird? Do you want a princess? Do you want an alien?
I want an animal.
You want an animal. Okay, so Meera wants an animal. Similarly, others can pick up their own characters, and you always pick a character you know. Don't pick a character you don't know. You don't know a princess, don't choose that. You know an animal, choose that. Perfect. So you can take a princess if you want, but Meera doesn't want a princess. So somebody else can take a princess who knows something about the princess, that how beautiful the princesses are, or you can pick up an alien. Can you pick up an alien? Do you know something about the alien?
I don't know anything about that.
So if you don't know anything, you won't pick up the alien, but you can pick up a dinosaur. If you've seen different movies like Jurassic Park and Godzilla, you can pick up dinosaur.
I never saw a dinosaur.
Never saw a dinosaur. Oh my god. So see, this is a dinosaur. Can you see it? Or you can pick up a farmer, anybody who you know, any animal, any bird, any human being. So Meera is going to pick up an animal. Meera, quickly draw your animal. Meera is picking up a character that she already knows, and it's very important to know your character because you have to write the story about it. So we are waiting for Meera to just quickly draw. Until then, just giving a gist about what is name your character. Very important to name the character properly. Princesses have different names like Cinderella, Ariel, Bella, but we don't want the common names. We want some unique and catchy names. So we aren't going to pick common names. We can either write Rubia or Julia, any different name that you haven't heard of before. When it comes to a dinosaur, you already know the movie Godzilla, so you won't write Godzilla. But you can write Dino, Thor, anything. Name your character properly because then, of course, you can't call a dinosaur Teeny. A dinosaur has to be Thor or Rambo, something that describes how the dinosaur is. So, Meera, are you done drawing? Now, Meera is going to quickly name.
I think because I actually don't know how to draw that animal.
You can just write the name of that animal. That's fine. Or any animal that you like, just write the name of that animal. You want a tiger? Write a tiger.
Okay.
What animal have you chosen?
I've chosen a horse.
Horse, okay. And what is the name that you would like to give the horse? What will you call the horse? Would you call it Bella? Can you call the horse Bella?
Yes.
Or can you call it... Do you want to give some funny name to your horse?
Maybe.
Can you call your horse Mowgli?
No.
Can you call your horse Poso?
No.
What name would you like to give? Quickly name your horse.
Horsey.
Horsey.
Good.
Okay, nice. Quickly write down Horsey. So yes, the name of the character can be anything you like, just unique and catchy. Okay.
Yes.
Next thing is, how does your character look? Is your character tall or short?
It's
Short or tall?
medium size.
Medium size. Okay. Is it fair? Is it brown or fair or white? Wheatish? What color is it?
It's white.
Okay. So your horsey is white.
Yes.
And is it thin?
Yes.
So quickly write down what you want your horse to look like. Mira's horse is white in color.
Uh, yeah.
So what all things have you written? Your horse is white in color
Yes.
and
White and
tall.
I thought
Thin.
Your horse can even be fat. Your
yeah.
horse eats a lot. Mira is taking good care of the horsey,
Yeah.
so it's healthy.
But I wrote thin.
Okay, that's fine. The horsey is fit.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, this is what you do. First, Mira, you already found out the character.
Yeah.
Then you've named the character, very important. Now you've also told us how your character looks. Amazing. So how does it appear? Now you have to tell us, is your character beautiful? Is it scary?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Horsey is beautiful. Okay. So Mira, you've already told us about the physical appearance of the character. How does it look? Next, you have to use certain words like, is your horsey kind, brave, smart? You have to describe how the horsey is. Physically, you've described the horsey. Now you tell us whether your horsey is brave or no.
It's
Or is it smart? Horsey can be smart also.
brave and smart.
So quickly write down brave and smart. So depending on the attributes that you want to give, you can use different adjectives to describe your character. Some examples are smart, kind, brave, and the list goes on. First comes the physical appearance and then the attributes, that is the characteristics. So, one thing that is very important in a story, can a story happen without a place? A story needs a place. A story needs a place to happen. So when you return home from school, what do you tell mom? Mom, at school this happened. So your story took place at school. When you go out, visit the park, what do you tell your friends? Yesterday I'd gone to the park. Do you tell your friends that? So now you need a place for your story. What place do you think the horsey can be in? Will the horsey be in a forest? Can the horsey be on moon? The horsey can be on moon.
No.
Of course it can. Why not? It can. You have to imagine. Anything is fine. You can create the most funny story, the most fictional story, the most horror story, anything you like. So your horsey is in the forest. Can we say that?
Yeah, it's in the forest.
Okay. So you've already selected a place that's in the forest. So you're going to write down that horsey is in the forest. Similarly, you can use your creativity and imagination and write different places where you think your character can be, so that your story revolves around that place.
Forest. Yes.
Next is the environment that is there. Was it raining in the forest? Was it raining very heavily in the forest?
Yes.
Or was there the sound of the wind gushing?
No. The sun. Only the sun.
Or was it a bright sunny day?
Medium sun.
Medium sun. So you can write not very bright but sunny day. Yes. So accordingly to the place you've selected, you can just add on what environment, climate conditions you want for your story. So Mira has written sunny day.
How do I find it? How do I find it? I see only.
Now comes the most interesting part. So a story has a character, the character has a name, the character's name, then the attributes, the physical appearance, the place. But a story is incomplete without a problem. You need something for your story to get interesting. Why do you say a story? Because something has happened. The main purpose being something has happened somewhere is the reason Meera is telling a story.
Ma'am, how I was about to think a story was not that interesting.
But you can make it interesting.
Mm,
All you need to know is what you have to write. You can think beyond the box, like I told you. You can think of different things. You can write your horse is on the moon also. You can just make your story very funny if you want it to be funny.
I wanted it to be
What kind of a story you want? Do you want a horror story?
no,
Then an adventurous story?
a story which is plain and like
A light-hearted story, not a very serious story.
Yeah.
Everybody can choose stories according to their own wish. So Meera likes a very light-hearted story. She doesn't want a very serious story or a very horror story. So Meera, can we tell what problem the horsey will get stuck in? See, there is one problem I have here is the horsey gets eaten by someone, some monster or something. Do you want something like that?
uh, that wasn't I was thinking about.
Or does the horsey fall into a lake?
No,
No, she doesn't want the horsey to fall into a lake. So what do you think? What can you think of? What happens to the horsey?
okay.
The horsey is
So
very
I was thinking
yes.
that a jackal will come or maybe it will about to eat it, but the horse will think,
Someone is going to eat up the horsey. That's
yeah,
what Mira was
but
thinking, correct?
I was about, but the horsey
Or
doesn't let the
can we say horsey finds a magic wand?
that I was not.
That is not what you were thinking.
I was just thinking
Yes.
the story which I my daddy told me.
Yeah.
Wow. So yes, Meera, you've been listening to stories since you were small?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. So you've always heard a story, right?
Yeah,
Have you written a story? No.
I didn't write a story.
But now,
Mira, you can take the help of your mama also. It's not that you have to be here alone. You can call your mama and she will help you. And you can take ideas from her also. Yeah, Mira?
My mom is with me, but
Or anyone else at
she's
home.
not in the
Yes,
school
Mira?
right now.
Okay. So let's listen to Shrusti then. Okay, what has Shrusti to share?
okay, so Meera's horsey is now going to get eaten by a dragon
Ah,
because the horsey is in a forest. Though it's a bright sunny day.
yeah, I think
Because
so.
can we write that? Yes. Or do you want the horsey to fall into the lake? There's a small lake in
I'm
the
about to
forest.
say about to eaten by a jackal.
A jackal.
So, yes, you can write that. So, quickly write down what you want. Similarly, your story can have any problem or plot depending on how you want to create your story and how far you can imagine. There is no end. You just can write what you like because it's your story, as I mentioned. You own your story. So, Meera, can you tell me, have we answered the 5 main questions of a story? Whenever you write a story, you have to be aware or you have to confirm that you answered the 5 questions. Who is the character?
Uh, the horse is the character.
Okay, where is the character?
It's in the forest.
When is it? When? What time of the day is it? It's a sunny day, right? So it's morning time.
Yeah.
Yes. And what happened to the character?
It was about to be eaten.
Yes. So these are the questions that you've already answered. So, with the help of these points, your story is already ready.
This does not have, I'm assuming, does not have any cash. Sorry,
A story is incomplete without answering these 5 WH questions.
because GFS जो पहली बार आया ना उसमें होता था वो
Yes.
एक entity used
So,
to
just some points how you can start or end a story. Just something because it's always supposed to be in the past tense. Meera, can we write your story in the starting once upon a time? Or you can also start with one sunny day. And your story can have a little bit of fun. Hello? Hello? How to end a story in the last part, or when you want to end the story, that after the horsey has been eaten, in the end, what happened? The horsey died. And now we all miss the horsey. Don't you miss horsey? So similarly, depending on what your story was, you can just end it by adding in the end, the last part, or finally, in conclusion, depending on how you want to add the ending. Your story can have a happy ending, a sad ending, depending on the genre you would like. Meera, is your material ready with you? Have you made the story already?
Meera, you can unmute yourself and answer me.
Ma'am, I wasn't about to say already eaten. I was about to say that about.
long back. I think this account also was released.
It was about to get eaten.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
But
Did the horsey die or did the horsey fight against?
because that horsey was telling the jackal that I've got hurt in my feet and it ran, and then both the jackals said, "Why did you run?" He said, "It's paining." So that's why the jackals thought he is a smart horse. So that's why the jackal ran away.
Okay, so you can write so much. Lovely. Can you write down these points for us?
But my pencils.
Yes, Meera can take the help of your mama and write your story. So you have a character, you have the place, you also have a problem. But then what happened? The problem is sorted out because the horsey ran away or the jackals did not eat him.
The jackals didn't eat him. The jackals only ran away.
The jackals ran away.
Ran away. Okay. And what can you tell? Do you know there is a title to the story that is always given?
What's the title?
Very good. So now you don't know what's the title for that. You just have to look here for a minute. So now, when you have to make a title is something that tells us what your story is about. Do you see cartoons, Meera?
Yeah.
So now, the cartoon Tom and Jerry, what is the name of that cartoon itself? Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Why? Because there are 2 main characters, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
So in your story, who is the main character?
The
Horsey is the main character.
yeah.
So can you write the title of the story, The Smart Horsey? The title of the story has to be something that your story is about.
Ma'am, I can't write with a broken lead pencil.
Oh my God. So you're going to remember this
Yeah.
and then you're going to find a pencil and write it. Will you?
Okay.
So with the help of the character name, attributes, physical appearances, the plot, and something to end with, that is your own imagination, that I leave up to you all. How you all would like to end the story. Like Meera wants to end the story by saving her horse and the horse being very smart and running away. Similarly, you can end your story in any way you like. So Meera, have you got a pencil?
Yeah.
So are you writing down certain things?
Yeah, I wrote.
Can you start the story with once upon a time?
Yeah.
So quickly write down, once upon a time there was a horsey.
Okay.
Yes.
Page is actually full.
Okay, no problem. So you can just remember how you have to write. Is it tough to write a story now, Meera?
And I can write in the back side of the page.
You can write.
Yeah. So, Meera, you can remember your points. So when you sit with your mama or your daddy, what you can do is you can remember all these points that Shrusti has shared. The name, what character you've chosen, an animal, and the name that you have given to that animal.
Physical appearance of the
Yeah,
animal.
true.
Then the attributes, horsey is smart and brave. Then horsey ran into the forest. There it was eaten by, it was going to get eaten by two jackals. So yes, your story has to just cover these 5 questions, that who, what, where, when, and how. And it's not very tough to write a story. I have made a little small story, Meera. Would you like to listen to my little story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like in the starting, did you see a princess? Like you all have chosen your characters, similarly, I have chosen a character for myself. It's a beautiful princess who I like to call Julia. So once upon a time, there was a princess called Julia who was tall and beautiful. She was at the same time brave and kind hearted. One fine day, she got lost into the woods. It was raining cats and dogs, and the sound of the wind was gushing against each other, the trees. And then she was so scared that she ran to save her life. Luckily, she saw something shining there and she picked up a magic wand. She found a magic wand in the forest. And then, when she was small, she was taught how to chant magic words. So, luckily, she used those magic words without getting scared. She was a brave princess. And then she used those magic words and saved herself. So, the title of my story is My Brave Princess. So, always remember your story has to have a title, so that a title is always written on the top. Before you start your story, you write a title. A title helps us to know what our story is about without even reading the story. So, from now on, we are going to write a story, and also you have to listen to stories, but also start writing them, because you have to become imaginative, right? You have to start thinking more. So I'll just like to say that story has an end. A story always has an end. It always gets over. But imagination has no end. You can keep thinking whatever you like, keep imagining, and keep making your own stories.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to say that story has no end, but a story has an end, but imagination has no end. So we can keep imagining, keep creating stories, and keep letting them coming in. Because stories are everywhere. As I had started with, I like to end with the same thing, that stories are everywhere. Be it at morning or your breakfast time, tea time, bedtime. Because from the time we are small, we've been listening to stories. And till today, like apart from whatever age you are, you love stories.
True.
Yes. So just like to end by saying that making a story is very easy. All you have to do is keep rolling your mind, keep thinking of what the name, what the character can be, what is the physical appearance, or what are the attributes, adjectives you like to use. Keep building your vocabulary. Keep using more fun words. Keep thinking of things that are not real. Just be more imaginative. And yes, there has to be a problem for your story because then the story is perfect. So, like Mira's story has a problem.
Yeah.
Is Mira writing a story?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so excited to read your story. I'm so happy that you are writing a story with so much happiness on face.
Okay. So you're done, Shrusti?
Yes, ma'am.
You can stop the screen sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
So, Meera, how did you find it? Now, what you're going to do is, Meera, you're going to tell your mom, now you have become a writer, an author. You're going to write stories. How interesting, isn't it, Meera? Yeah? So you must remember all the points that Shrusti has shared with you. She has shared what you need to keep in mind, what all characters, the appearance, the nature, the behavior, the problem, how it ends. Is it a sad ending or it's a happy ending? And not to forget, you still have to give it a title. You have to give it a heading. Without the heading, it's okay. But the heading gives you a lot tells you a lot about what the story is going to be like. Yes, Meera? So keeping this in mind, you're going to tell yours. You have written a story today and you're going to share this with your parents. Okay, so should say yes, that was really nice. And I thought it was really interesting uh, because Meera has really found it interesting. Isn't it, Meera? Yes. So Meera, being as small as she is, and she did find it, and she made an effort to write it. So thank you, Shrusti.
Thank
It's
you.
really been an honor to have you with us, with your background and with your family background, and of course, uh, the language, the literature, sort of, I should say, the background with your elocution and the competitions, and you have represented your school at different levels.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's really nice to have you on board, and
Thank you
we
so
hope we'll
much.
have you again sometime.
Yes, I'm waiting to see more students like Mira soon.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. And Meera, thank you so much for being
Mira, say thank you,
here
ma'am.
and being
Thank
part
you,
of the
ma'am.
session.
Loudly.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Hope you had fun, Mira.
I enjoyed a lot.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes,
I'm looking forward to reading more stories written
yes,
by Meera.
yes, Meera. We'll wait for your stories now. Yes, however small, it need not be very long.
Yeah, the length does not matter.
Yeah.
Story
Okay.
has to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, Meera. Bye. See you, Meera. Bye. Yes, and thank you so much, Shrusti.
Thank you, ma'am. Once again, thank you, Shishuan.
Oh, yes. Okay. Bye. See you.
Yes.